In this video we will be taking a look at a video of a guy bashing Atomic Heart for what turned out to be no reason whatsoever. So for those that don't know, Atomic Heart is a game about an alternate history in the 1950s in a dystopian Soviet world. The game looks incredibly promising, but apparently not everyone is thrilled about the game. The title of this video is "Please don't buy Atomic Heart" and comes from Harenko. And you already know something is fishy when the video with over 1 million views has done less than 200 comments, and the number just keeps going down. And every single comment is agreeing with the guy, so this must be a good video, right? Well, I think our buddy can explain this situation to us. Hey, I am forced to somewhat limit comments. Yeah, somewhat, guys. Totally not unless you suck him off. No. As they are currently being botted by faceless, newly made accounts that anyone could ever realistically come up with. You gotta love this. So the thousands, if not tens of thousands of comments are botted. All except this 100 and something. Also, are the comments botted, or is it just too much to keep up with? I'm getting some mixed messages here. Just more excuses to not tackle the other side of the argument. I am reading them and appreciate people taking the time to provide their thoughts and feedback. But only the positive feedback. If it's negative feedback, then it's just a bot comment. Really not making yourself look good here, man. I hope you can understand, with a shit-eating grin emoji. You already know when someone puts the dumb emoji at the end of their message that they're about to spew some of the most brainless shit you've ever heard. But let's not assume anything. Let's dive into the video and see why this guy doesn't want you to buy Atomic Heart.
Today is August 9th, 1945. The US drops 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, turning the cities to dust and ending the lives of more than 200,000 people, shortly after which Japan surrenders. In celebration, the US government creates and publishes a tabletop board game called Nuclear Love, themed according to the operation performed. It was made for 2 players, where one would be playing on the side of the US and the other would be playing as Japan. The game features dice that look like miniature atomic bombs, and the person who manages to bomb the other's city capital first wins. By rules of the game, however, the US side would always have the first turn, which brought natural advantage, and the board game, despite the patriotism and popularity, failed on the market. Sounds like a rather unethical piece of military propaganda that nullifies the tragedies, right? That's because Nuclear Love never existed, and I just made it up.
So what the fuck was even the point? Oh wait, only to virtue signal. But you'll notice this isn't the only thing this guy is going to make up.
But there is a similar situation that does exist that follows this formula, and it is about to be released, and its name is Atomic Heart. I want to preface the video by saying that if you're the type of person that is still going to buy and play something like Hogwarts Legacy despite its infamy, you might as well click off, as I'm going to explain why it's a bad idea to purchase and play Atomic Heart. Go on, you have a Joe Rogan podcast to catch up on, or play Call of Duty or something, I don't know. Off you go.
So in short, if you're not going to suck his dick and agree with him unconditionally, he doesn't want you on his channel. I guess now we know why he is so heavily filtering the comments. Also, I was going to get some more b-roll initially due to how long the video is, but in this guy's honor, we're bringing the same Call of Duty b-roll from last video. And you gotta love how he's one of those fucks virtue signaling Hogwarts Legacy. Definitely sets the tone for this video.
Being Ukrainian myself, I'm making this video to spread awareness.
Spread awareness about what? The development studio in question publicly came out and said that they are not supporting the current conflict. Not to mention, Atomic Heart has been in development for 5 years, which is long before the war started. So your claim that this is some propaganda related to the war is absolutely laughable. And your nationality has absolutely nothing to do with this argument, other than being a pathetic attempt to shield yourself from criticism, which you are clearly immensely struggling with.
So even if 100 people see this, I'm satisfied. Even if one person cancels their pre-order because of this video, I'm satisfied. I will be turning monetization on for this video if possible, and all revenue from this video will be going straight to local Ukrainian charities.
Sure bro, we totally believe you.
But let's start with basics. What is Atomic Heart? Atomic Heart is a video game set in the Middle East from February 21st, 2020. It is developed as by Shock and the USSR. It describes the events of the Preface, theories, some community emerged from Central War, scientifically and politically advanced, fusion developments, all nuclear fusion, and electrical robots. You play as one guy through the ADD major and multiple special summons. So far, you have universal weight in plus and uncommon games lists, stuff like PC Gamer, IGN, and Gamescom. Let's see who is really behind it. The games developed by Russian studio called Monfish, and there's certainly no mention of fact this is a game dev. So local company just launched in 2017, a team of 4 like-minded gaming enthusiasts in Cyprus. At the same time, the studio was mentioned as the Russian one, who's an office in Moscow in Russian gaming and IT media articles. In 2019, there was even a report from the Moscow office of the studio. And after the events of 2022, the company completely ostracized itself from being known as a strictly strictly Russian company and is now presenting itself as international, which in terms of their history of office installments and offshores means half Cyprus, half Armenian, half Singapore, and whatever the hell else, just to avoid sanctions and negative spotlight.
Wow, imagine that. They don't want to be punished for something they had no part in purely because they associated with a specific country? What pieces of shit, am I right? Honestly, is this really what we're outraged over?
So, now that we've established that this is actually a Russian studio, what is their opinion on the war going on? What could be their stance on this tragic matter that could save and keep their public image and also not tank the sales? Let's read out loud together. Guys, we have noted the questions surrounding where we at Monfish stand. We want to assure you that Monfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people. We do not comment on politics or religion. Rest assured, we're a global team focused— Hold on, stop.
Uh-oh guys, I think this started making a little too much sense for this guy.
We do not comment on politics? You're making a game that's sole idea is USSR renewal and communism. You classified your game as inspired by Bioshock and Prey, yet you go the no politics in my video game route?
What they very obviously meant is that they're not touching on any real-life politics regarding the conflict, because that is what they were asked about. Their stance on the conflict. Context, dipshit, context.
This is one step away from the types of gamers who say, I don't like politics in my video game, and then immediately open up Fallout. What absolute nonsense.
Fallout is a satirical take on politics. People who play Fallout play it to laugh at politics, not to be lectured by them, which is what the entire no politics in video games argument is against. Video games having forced agendas, which neither Fallout nor Atomic Heart have.
After that, their response to criticism regarding that tweet was simply to ban people, so it's a short end there.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
Now, let's look at the CEO of Monfish, whose name is Robert Bagratuni. Except that it isn't. His actual name is Maxim Zatsepin. Max previously had a position of a creative director slash top manager in Mail.ru, which is now presented as VK, the biggest social media platform in Russia. It doesn't take much to figure out that a platform that is based in Russia, directed and controlled by Russia, and is used only by Russians will have a strict pro-Russian stance.
And that has what to do with Atomic Heart? Oh wait, absolutely fucking nothing.
But it doesn't end there. Meet Yevgenia Sidova as the founder of Monfish. She's a former model and an owner of a modeling agency. She worked at New Media Stars, where she was in charge of the computer graphics department. That company is now in charge of various pro-Russian mass media, such as Vzglyad.ru and Dni.ru. According to the former employees of the company, all Monfish transactions and checks are on her behalf.
That still doesn't explain how the game is some pro-Russian propaganda. Really, you just said absolutely nothing. People from Russia worked in Russia? Damn bro, in other news, water is wet. But you gotta love how even though this studio clearly doesn't support this conflict in any way, this guy still wants them to be crucified just because some of them are Russian. Like, he is such a fucking bitch.
Let's roll back the time a little bit. The game has been in development for quite a while, and by quite a while I mean at least 7 years.
Actually 5 since production started in late 2017, but even if it was 7, that makes his argument even worse. I just love how this guy just completely destroyed his entire argument that this game is some propaganda related to the conflict, but he is just that fucking stupid to not realize it.
With his earliest trailers dating back to 2017, and the scene in 2017 and 2018 wasn't as smooth for them. Many people got interested and excited, but a lot of people were skeptical, the reason being a shady system of pre-orders. Let me paint you a picture. An unknown company posts a small teaser trailer of some generic assets and a description to cause hype, with all of the effort to guide you to their pre-order page, where you would be met with a $60 base game, $90 pre-order for Gold Edition, and $100 for Premium Edition.
Dun dun dun! Is this really what we're outraged over? Gold and Premium Edition pre-orders. At this point, this guy's just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Mind you, you see these price tags, and there's exactly 2 minutes of badly made teaser trailer footage with no gameplay to serve as the video game's representation and marketing.
But now we do have incredibly promising gameplay footage, so why should we not buy this game now when we actually know what the final game looks like? Oh wait, because Atomic Heart bad.
What did not help was the fact that the game was being developed by a studio that no one has ever heard from before.
Because they were founded in the same year, and now they came out and proved themselves, so where's the problem?
What is the problem?
Being just born and publishing Atomic Heart as their first game, which means that they have no background and no past games that would justify the pre-order prices. However, the breaking point for many people was that the game didn't even have a release date, or even a release year at the time, which meant that you're investing up to $100 for something that might not come out ever.
Once again, yeah, it seemed shady at the time, but guess what? We're not in 2017 anymore. The game is coming out and it turned out not to be a scam. So where is the fucking problem? I'm gonna speed up the rest of this because this is really fucking pointless.
Now let's talk economics. If you were to buy one and spend $60, where would these $60 go? That is a really good question.
To the developers and publishers' pockets?
To answer it, let's look at what kind of companies signed up to be the investors and publishers for Atomic Heart, basically to be the ones who would be taking the large cut in Atomic Heart's revenue. The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent and Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment.
Oh, the horror. This guy is seriously acting like every single company that has ever even touched Russia is going to be unconditionally and enthusiastically supporting them. But let's just say this guy keep the same energy outside of video games. Let's say him not buy a single Chinese or Russian product. Yeah, spoiler alert, if he did that, he would be living in rags.
Tencent needs no introduction, being infamous with its licensing technique and hunger over users' data.
Motherfucker, YouTube is literally collecting your data as we speak, and so is literally every other company on planet Earth. But of course, none of that matters. But when Tencent does it, it's suddenly an issue. Gotta love that selective outrage.
So let's start with Gaijin Entertainment, which moved from Russia to Hungary in 2022 in order to avoid conflict and continue its activities. The head of the PR, Konstantin Hovorun, illegally visited the Ukrainian Crimea, which is temporarily occupied by Russia, and repeatedly spoke in support of the policies and politics of the Russian Federation. But the most interesting sponsor is GEM Capital. GEM Capital is a Russian fund founded by Anatoly Pali, who previously worked at Gazprom's subsidiary, Gazenergoset. The studio raised investments from them in 2021, where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs who got rich on oil and gas activities, and now have the opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely, the export of gas and oil is one of the main categories of income of the Russian budget, the money from which goes to the military industry. And if you know basic economics and finance, you know that all investments must be returned, including interest. Moreover, a Twitter user found Pali's connection to other Russian state institutions, such as the sanctioned, systematically important bank VTB.
Based on what sources?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Oh wait, it's all just hearsay and speculation, but let's just say this is true for the purpose of discussion. So, because of the actions of a few individuals, we should condemn Atomic Heart to an early grave. Never mind all the other employees who are working on the project. Because a few people did this, we must punish everyone. Guilt by association. Honestly, just fuck off, dude.
The game attracted as many as 4 publishers: Xbox, 4Divinity, Focus Entertainment, and VKeyplay. Let's focus on VKeyplay.
Oh wow, 1 out of 4 publishers is possibly shady. Nope, because of that, everyone who has ties to this game must suffer collective punishment.
It is known to be a gaming division of the former Mail.ru, the same Mail.ru who had Maxim Zatsepin as their former top manager. And again, it is closely connected with the Russian government and participates in many initiatives of the Kremlin. If Atomic Heart is being developed with money that originated from sanctioned Russian businesses such as VK and Mail.ru, and banks which are systematically important to Russian governments such as VTB, profits from the game could be directed to help the Russian government in its invasion. Thus, by buying Atomic Heart, you would pay money to companies that support the aggressive policies and military actions of the Russian Federation.
Yeah, keyword, could. And guess what also could happen? A meteor could strike Earth and kill us all. We can play what ifs all day and talk about what could happen, and it won't bring us anywhere, because it is just that, a possibility. How likely is it? Not very, but what ifs are the only way this count has any points, and it's absolutely pathetic.
Lastly, there were some incredible terms of service and privacy policies spotted over at Monfish. The website now leads to a 404, but someone managed to capture these screenshots. Basically, it says that your information can and will be transferred to the Russian government, in particularly the Federal Security Service, and not just your username, but your full name, physical address, email, phone number, IP address, and so on. Gotta say, their mobilization methods are getting kinda dire.
And more selective outrage. If you read the license agreement for every product you buy, you would never spend money on a product ever again. You'd be building your house out of coins and eating banknotes. But just you wait guys, the real retardation is about to start.
Finally, let's talk about the game itself for a bit. Set in USSR 1955, two Soviet Soviet Scientists, needy of creates any of control all new labor, leaking straight to life, pleasure and luxury. When the is the mental office of special science, speaking free, with the session of 15 facility, 3 ages, 6 the game's happy and 2 fingers where the user had one, and have music technical progress. The gameplay is centered on fighting for close attempts based on playing robots to cosmic horror type of stories. The game is filled to the brim with USSR-themed keepsakes and memorabilia, from drinking condensed milk straight out of the can, to actual flags and symbols of the USSR hammer and sickle. This kind of approach to the showcase of USSR and communism walks a thin line between using it for world building and praising it.
How is it praising it? In the game, the Soviet Union fucked up, and it's their fault that these robots are on a rampage slaughtering everyone. This is like saying that Wolfenstein is praising the Nazis. This guy literally read out what the game is about and it went completely over his head. He might genuinely be fucking retarded.
And there are many solid reasons to believe that this line has been crossed completely right into promoting and idealizing the USSR regime and using it as a tool of USSR and Russian military propaganda.
Again, source? Oh wait.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
And there have been events to prove this. Take a look at this event that people behind VK organized. It was a special showcase of Atomic Heart for the Russian press, which was stylized in the game's Soviet aesthetics, and they did not go stingy on the decorations, huh?
This proves absolutely nothing and this brainlet knows it.
The event included a dinner in a large banquet hall where you could see Soviet-style slogans like "Glory to the Soviet engineers" or "Comrade, join the society of the future." One of the users in Twitter replies said, "Imagine if developers of Wolfenstein had a Nazi-themed party," and I would say that's well said.
Oh no, edgy marketing, how horrible.
Sergei Mohov, a Remedy lead gameplay designer, rightfully accused Monfish of being nostalgic about the Soviet regime or even glorifying it. Ironically, the party's date coincided with the adoption of the new anti-LGBT law in Russia, which brings us right back to USSR, I guess. A major point that I want to bring attention to, that there have been numerous well-made games with a Soviet or USSR or low-lying Eastern Europe theme or setting. Let's bring some examples. In Singularity, the Soviet Union discovered a source of element 99 and has special powers that could warp time itself, trying to bring it to the glory days through time travel. If you're in the mood for video games that came out 15 years ago but already played through all the world famous ones, you should give it a try.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? So Singularity is fine, but Atomic Heart isn't? And why exactly? Oh wait, because it's 2023 and we cannot have modern video games not being taken seriously. I think it's confirmed at this point that this guy is completely brain dead.
In Half-Life 2, the setting of City 17 has not been directly said to be in a specific part of the world, but it's clear that it's been influenced by Eastern Europe's architecture and style. Bulgarian art director Viktor Antonov, the person behind City 17 and Dunwall of Dishonored, mentions his childhood hometown of Sofia as main inspiration for City 17. Other places like Belgrade were also used as reference.
Yeah, as reference. It's not actually set in Eastern Europe. Also, Belgrade is in Serbia, retard. That's in Southern Europe and that has absolutely nothing to do with the Soviet Union. I mean shit. Just the fact that Southern and Eastern Slavs can barely understand each other should tell you enough. And yes, being Croatian I would know. Just goes to further show that this guy is just throwing shit at the wall.
In Disco Elysium, the Streets of Martinez show what it would be like to live through the failure of an attempted communist revolution. You can still see artillery damage and bullet holes in the walls, notes the lead writer Helen Hinpere. There's this feeling of being stuck in the past. People of Soviet and post-Soviet era are very familiar with this feeling, especially those who live in countries like Moldova or Estonia, which is the homeland of the game's lead designer, Robert Kurvitz. The game takes its own spin of what being a communist entails through its own political vision quest and partially the main quest. I won't spoil it, and I do suggest you try it out yourself.
So Atomic Heart is bad because it doesn't have bullet holes in its buildings? What the fuck even is this shit at this point? Also, Atomic Heart is clearly criticizing the Soviets as explained on their website. Funny how you never mentioned that. It's almost like you're just talking out of your ass. Coming
back to Atomic Heart, another point that rubs me the wrong way is the recent marketing strategy. It seems like their marketing team realized that their previous shady strategy has failed to bring in pre-orders, so they went with another plan to make typical capital G gamers buy their game, which is of course none other than through sexualization and objectification of women.
Okay, I am genuinely convinced that this guy is brain damaged. It's a robot, you complete fucking Neanderthal. It's not a real fucking woman. Also, does all of this not tip you off to the fact that the game is not supposed to be taken seriously? Use your brain, provided you have one.
So far I have avoided showing these characters on screen, but I am talking about the couple of female USSR styled robots that they suddenly added in recent trailers and thumbnails to get the attention of the lusty neckbeards.
Yeah, sex sells. It happens in literally every industry in the world. This is nothing new, so I don't understand how this is some big point against this game. If anything, it's fucking hilarious because it's a literal fucking meme.
Just by searching Atomic Heart on YouTube and scrolling far down, it's impossible to miss the countless trailers, thumbnails, edits and shorts about these characters, with some videos claiming that they'll buy the game just for these two, which also brings in the ongoing issue of sexualizing lesbians in media.
Oh my fucking... Do I even have to respond to this horseshit? Also, didn't the Soviet Union not like the lesbians? So going by your logic, if this game was some propaganda in favor of the Soviet Union, wouldn't that completely rule out the possibility of anything like this being in the game? This guy is taking every opportunity to contradict himself and it's absolutely hilarious. Also, this is a null point because these are literal fucking machines.
Not only is marketing like this highly unethical and immoral, as we've been fighting with objectifying and sexualizing women, especially in media and advertisements, especially lesbians, but it's also actually illegal. For example, in Ukraine, our parliament adopted a law abetting sexism in advertising, which became active in January 2022. Elected officials have banned showing the superiority of one gender over another in physical, intellectual, or social aspect, showing stereotypical roles of men and women, gender-based violence, as well as the human body as a sexual object.
Best hope this guy never discovers mannequins in stores, he would probably fucking die.
In simpler terms, it's just gross and cheap, and what pains me to say is that it seems to be working. These YouTube shorts and edits are getting millions of views, quickly becoming favorite among the fans, who quickly started to spread rumors about a possible 6-hour sex scene in the video game. It's so wrong on so many levels.
Really? Making a faceless robot with boobs is gross to you? I think that says a lot.
In conclusion, what can you do to support Ukraine on this matter?
What in the actual... Okay, I'm fucking done with this shit. The rest of this video is just him begging people to cancel their pre-orders, so you're not missing anything important. Besides, this is going to be a long video anyways, so I'm trying my hardest to cut it down wherever possible. It also doesn't help that this is that kind of a video where you can pause after every statement and write a paragraph about how retarded the thing you just heard is. But yeah, spend your money on whatever you want and don't let pathetic fearmongers like this guy stop you from enjoying what you enjoy. Honestly, I wasn't all too interested in Atomic Heart previously, but making this video made me really hooked to it, so I might end up picking it up at some point. So shout out to this guy for truly opening my eyes to this amazing looking game. Well, with all that said, be sure to like and subscribe to boost me in the algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.